without going too deep into all the specifics, honestly, I'm learning to replace my distractions with my desires and my destinations.
Okay.
So
Say that one more time. Rashad isms, everybody. Rashad isms.
I'm learning to replace my distractions with my desires and my destinations. I don't want any more excuses on why I can't achieve what I need to and why I'm not the best version of me in so many words.
All right. 6:29. Remember those days when we had 8:29? Let's start at 6. 8:29, 9 o'clock. Getting everything set up. Man.
It's part of the process, man.
Man. I remember those times when we were right out here. First times, like I thought we knew what we was doing because I'd done it before. But you realize how much you don't know what you're doing until you get ready to do it. So fake it till you make it, I guess.
Well, you got to take the first step.
Yeah, first step, and we took the first step, and we've been stepping. We took a break. Now, start stepping again. I'm excited, man. Glad to be here. First of all, we did this a couple of times, but I'm gonna, like you said, step on the right foot. I gotta remember what the name of the podcast is.
It's been that long.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Your host, Josh McGlon, co-host, Rashad Bell. Appreciate y'all tuning in to it. This is the Iron Table Podcast presented by Real Talk Studios. We'll have some other name up there pretty soon. Presented by sponsors, you know what I'm saying? So,
manifestation.
Yeah, so right now we're sponsoring ourselves. But anybody looking for ads, sponsorships, man, you just put a little money into something good, man. I promise you'll get it back. But that's the 30-second elevator pitch. Well, more like 10 seconds. I got a little more to it than that, but man, it's been a minute, man. Man, let's just start about how you been, man. How you been? It's not like we talk every day, and we can just pick up where we left off yesterday.
Man,
it's been a little while, man. It's been a little.
What a start! Tell you like I've been telling everybody recently, I'm in the best physical, mental, spiritual, and what am I missing?
Emotional.
Yes, emotional health. That
financial's another one, so
we're working on that.
Working on it.
Yeah.
You can't be 100 on all of them.
But in all honesty, life's beautiful, man. I'm loving it. No Mickey D's.
Right.
No Mickey D's. But no, life is lovely, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm unlocking new strategies to combat some vulnerabilities because I'm fasting right now. I've been sober for the last 7 days. And I can honestly say day 5 is when the challenges really started to pick up.
So talk about that a little bit more about what are you fasting from? Because everybody thinks fasting is just food or whatever. Man. So what all are you fasting from, and how has it been? This is day what, 7?
Yes, day 7.
Day 7. How many days you going? Like, what's the
2 weeks? So
14 days. Okay. So you're halfway there.
Without going too deep into all the specifics, honestly, I'm learning to replace my distractions with my desires and my destinations.
Okay.
So
say that one more time. Rashad isms, everybody. Rashad isms.
I'm learning to replace my distractions with my desires and my destinations. I don't want any more excuses on why I can't achieve what I need to and why I'm not the best version of me in so many words. Man.
That's a good one because my 2025 mantra is discovering me, basically discovering the best version of me.
Yes.
And not just, I'm going to wake up next day and try harder every day. It's learning, like, what have I done right? What have I done not right? What am I doing to correct those things? How am I getting better, and how am I learning? Like, I'm looking at my goals in the future, and how am I getting closer to those every day?
Yeah.
And how am I? Because the way to get to that point is to become the best version of myself
Right.
every day. Like, there's no arrival. Like, I'm the best version of me. You're constantly becoming that best version. It's the journey.
Yeah.
You
Which comes with hard work.
Yeah, it comes with hard work and learning, man. That's probably one of the things that I've learned since we last were together was, man, learning about my craft. Like, what am I considering myself to be good at? What do I want to be a master of? And
Mm.
first thing, be a master of myself. Like, be the best I can be, and that requires like getting deep into stuff. I'm glad I almost wore those glasses. I'm glad I didn't. Like,
Really?
they're similar, but I wore the Malcolm X glasses today.
Yeah, I'm blind without mine, so
Yeah, well, I can see, but it's not getting better. I would
oh,
say it do-
my old age is showing.
it doesn't get better necessarily. Um, but yeah, elaborate more on, like, what are you doing in this fast? How are you becoming? I took a slight tangent,
You're
but
fine. Man. So for me, with the spirituality, I'm learning to pray, bro.
yeah.
Like season 1, 2, or just the last 11 months is really just been unlocking myself and the voice. So,
Yep.
seeking clarity. And like I said, day 5 was probably when my troubles really started to arise.
Mm,
And it came to a point where it's like, I don't have a strategy for this because this is uncharted territory.
mhm.
Like, I know how to combat this. I know how to combat that. I got something for that. I got something for that. I ain't never been over here. So when I found that moment, it felt like Murphy's Law, man. It was like one thing after another. Like, I swear it in tandem, like same day, probably
Rains,
within
it pours.
2-3 hour span, like between work, personal life, like with it was a message my daughter got, uh 2 or 3 escalations at work, uh home life. It was a
Mhm.
number of things, and it was just like all in the same moment. And instead of me just like, all right, I can do this, this, and that, I just stopped. I ceased, and I went to the answer.
Mhm.
I went to the answer for solutions.
What
Like,
was what's the answer?
God,
In what form did you go to him? Like,
prayer. I
prayer.
just stopped what I was
Mhm.
doing. I put everything down, closed my eyes, and that's when I started using my voice.
Yeah. So the prayer does. I mean, people think it's just you pray when times are good or bad, and that's not the case. It says pray without ceasing. So it's good, bad, indifferent, like whatever, whether it's going your way or not. You have to keep praying, but especially when it's going hard. Like, if you don't slow down and stop and pray, then it get away from you real fast, and you start going to other places for the answer.
And I think that's probably what it was. But again, since I'm learning, uh, it wasn't just in that moment. Like, I've been praying like in the mornings and before bed,
Right, right.
and it's almost like autopilot now. Like,
Yeah, you got to do some of that preparation prayer and some of the proactive prayer.
yeah, and I think those days leading up to before things before that Murphy's Law
Mhm.
moment of like day 5 kind of kicked over, and it's like, okay, because it wasn't generic, like it was very specific,
Mhm.
tailored towards those events, and it felt good. Like
Like, the
it,
prayer was specific to
yeah,
the you spoke
the
to the
situation,
situation,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
not just saying, "Lord, help me," or "Lord, if you get me out of this, I'll never do it again." It's type of thing.
Oh
But
nah, and it felt natural. It felt good, and even some of the stuff I don't have immediate answers, but my mind is open to that. So when that time
Right.
comes,
You talking about the airplane?
so when that time comes, I know I'll have what I need because he's been guiding me this entire time.
Yep.
Like, so just in those times of trouble, I needed him more than I've needed him before. But I still show my gratitude, my appreciation. I give my thanks. I pray for others specifically. Like, it's been beautiful, man. That's the best way I could put it. Like, and that's not me sugarcoating it. Like, it has really, like, it's one thing to say it, but to actually believe it and then see the transition not only in my life but those around me impacted by, because the transfer of energy. It's been amazing to see. Like,
change affects everybody around you, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. It's everybody around you is gonna feel it, and they're gonna react one way or another. They're gonna get in line, or it's gonna be uncomfortable. Either way, it's change is not necessarily comfortable for most people, but it's designed to actually make you a little uncomfortable, so you can get out of the position that you're in. Because I don't know what the definition of change is,
I don't think I looked that one up yet.
Mr. Dictionary.
It's somewhere in there.
But I'm sure it probably has something to do with like not staying in the same place, like going from one thing to another, being something different. But if you stay in the same place, then that is stagnant. That's the opposite of change. So
Nothing grows from complacency.
yes, sir. For me, most recently over the last few days, it's been like super tired. Like man, it's been like I hadn't even been able to work out. I've been so tired. Like past couple of days, I've been ready to like take a break from work, like lunch break, sleep instead of eat, or take a what I mean.
Yes,
Easily. And I'm not like a nap taker. I don't take naps like that, but I'm about to start.
Okay, Kevin Gates, I don't get tired.
I do get tired. He was lying when he said he don't get tired. Try not sleeping and then see how tired you get. He probably was on drugs. He's pretty sure he probably on drugs when he wrote that. I don't get tired, so you feel like that, but your body. But anyway, I've been like super tired lately. I just told you I had 2 energy drinks, and I stopped drinking energy drinks. I don't drink coffee, energy drinks, or nothing because I was on this 21-day challenge. I put myself on a 21-day workout challenge to stay active in some shape or form.
Yeah.
And eat better. I didn't want to tell myself to like like go cold turkey, nothing, but eat better, attempt to eat better. And read and write every day or write. So I did do the reading every day. And that's in addition to my morning devotional Bible stuff. This is me like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, UOU by E.T. Man, I've been reading like for real. And
that's good, man.
Yeah, man, I feel like I can get on your level sometimes when we're talking about something.
I didn't reach my goal. I read my 12th book. I finished that up actually this week. I think Tuesday.
Congrats, man.
Appreciate it.
12 and less 11 than months. 11 months. Dig that, man. Well, I've done probably 4. 4 in the last few months. I really just started reading in the last probably 2 or 3 months. And I've been knocking them out. Like, and some of that, a lot of that is audiobook. Like, cut that joint on, listen to it.
Don't matter, man.
Still,
that's part of the
reading
learning
with my ears. How about that? But and I'm gonna go over some of those again too. But that's one of the things I did on my 21-day. It took. I do analysis of everything. I'm an analytic person, so 21. It took me 34 days to complete a 21-day challenge.
Hmm.
Means I took 13 days off. None of them in a row, none consecutively. So my the goal was to do 21 days in a row, like some type of workout. And that lasted 6 days. So I did a cycle of I did weights, hit, and cardio. Weights, hit, cardio, weights, hit, cardio. In that order most of the time. Alternating, muscle groups and stuff. But yeah, that lasted 6 days. And I was like, ain't no way. And then after the 6th day, I was like, man, I think about 3 days off. And then I started getting, kind of a rhythm. And it's no like I work out Monday through Friday and off the weekend. Like the weekend is actually some of the better times for me to work out because, you know, it's hard for me because my room, my weight room is like connected to, you can hear everything that goes on in there in my bedroom and Layla's room. Layla will be all right. But the wife is like, it sounds like you dying in there. Like it don't take all that. I said, yeah, it does, man. Like
them last reps,
man, I was like
you gotta muster that.
Yeah, man, you don't get it. But I'm having to be respectful of other people's, She's like, do I need to come do something like CPR or something? And you sound like, no, man, I'm doing that so you don't have to give me CPR, so I can breathe and blow it out. Yes, yeah, that's one of those things that just help push me to get in a place where I can have my own weight room and workout facility in my house, separate from everybody else, whether it's upstairs, downstairs, but not connecting walls, sharing a wall with my bedroom where my wife may be.
Yeah.
And I can't do it in the morning because I get up earlier than everybody else, and that would, that'd be a problem. So it's usually late in the afternoon, night. But I learned a lot about myself during that process. The 21-day challenge that took 34 days. Like I upped it, every time I did something that I did last time, I keep up with everything. I keep up with the number of reps, the amount of weight, and I actually log after every set, like, okay, that was easy or that was hard or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the Apple Fitness, you can actually put what level of effort you gave. So I started doing that, like what level of effort came from that. And on my I finished the workout, and this is what led me to where I am now. I finished the 21-day challenge, took a few days off. I think we went out of town, went to Nashville, whatever, just to get away.
Yeah.
And when I came back a few days later, I did I'm trying to remember what I did first. I might have did like I did chest, and then the next day I did cardio. Cardio, I run from the house down to the dirt pit and back. That's a mile. It's like a complete mile. But it's like a 50-foot elevation difference from where my house is to the lowest point of the dirt pit and back. It's got rocks and sand, and like it works out all kinds of muscles. But it rained one day and then it dried. So everything that was like slushy, like solidified. And I'm, going around stuff, making sure I don't break nothing.
Yeah.
But hit that little everybody's done the ankle, your ankle bone touching the ground.
Ooh,
rolling
roll
up.
that ankle.
Ooh, man, it went back some memories. It's the same one where I had the Achilles repair and fractured the ankle that I trained on to walk on. So a lot of people that don't know this, I walked on the Ole Miss football team, and I was training with a buddy. And I went to play football, like just backyard football with Quail and Jeremy. And I don't remember what happened, who had the ball. I think I had the ball, but somehow I had my ankle rolled the opposite way. And this was, 15 years ago. But I felt it pop. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I walked that joint off, went and trained, like walked on Ole Miss football team, everything. And then a few months later, like, man, this joint still swole. It hurts. And the doctor's like, He's like, yeah, it's a fracture there, but it's almost healed now. So it's like
Wow.
I had a fracture in my ankle, trained, made it on a football team and everything. Because I mean, you know how you lace up the ankle brace, pull
Yeah.
that joint tight. I'm like, man, I'm finna get it. And I wish I could just translate that energy to now sometimes. Sometimes if I could just capture whatever that like beast was, no matter how I felt, man, what you got?
It's still in you, brother.
I know. I need to, and I feel like I'm getting there. I'm getting back. I'm pulling that back out the more I read, and the more I discover myself, like rediscover myself. I mean, whoever this person that I'm becoming, pulling the beast out when necessary.
Yeah, I was posing the same, similar, not rolling ankles or that type of beast, but
Mhm.
there's a certain confidence level that one gains with a certain intake of certain liquid, some liquid courage.
Uh-huh.
So I've always wondered how can I unlock that person, because it's me.
Mm-hmm.
The alcohol would be the activator.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I replace that activator with something else? Because it still resides in me. This is just a proven way to get that level of confidence.
Hmm.
So to your point, whatever it was about football or that strong desire to achieve whatever goal,
Yep.
you just got to find your trigger.
What's that trigger for that? Yep. Yeah. That's a good point, because I mean, it's just like you were talking about the fast, and I think I heard it best from Wayne talking about when you quit something like smoking or drinking or whatever, you're not just quitting something, you're replacing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So you're replacing an existing habit, because it's gonna replace itself. Like when you
Yep.
drop smoking, you're gonna start picking up something, gum or eating too much or snacks or whatever, just because of the habit. So you replace that habit with something positive. And I believe that's some of what I'm doing with the reading. Instead of being on social media more or TV, I'm reading, listening, and replacing that with something that'll make me better, make me a better person. Yeah. So what you got?
I'm listening. Well, I was gonna add a word, but that's that's about it. Malaria rate, which is to improve upon a situation.
Who?
Malaria rate.
Malaria.
Yeah, malaria rate, to improve upon a situation.
Okay. Malaria rate.
MELIORAT.
I look at it. It sounded like it was some disease from the 1800s or something.
Oh, I don't know the origin or anything like that, but that's been a word that's kind of stuck with me and just in my discovery.
Gotcha. Yeah. So after the 21-day workout, 21-day challenge,
34-day challenge.
You said what?
34-day challenge.
34 days. So it was, well, actually, I still worked out 21 days, but it was just what in a row. I think somewhere in there I said, I went out to work out 21 days in a row. I failed at that, but I succeeded at something else, about discovering myself and like.
You said a new word that I have a new perspective on.
What, failure?
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, failure is a perspective, but I never use that word though. Like,
so my definition of failure is feedback and insightful life lessons, useful real world experience.
okay.
I even broke down fear for myself too. I tell myself to fear not, because fear is the foundation of empowerment, achievement, and resilience.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of my spiritual oil change. Shout out to Wayne. Thank you.
Spiritual oil change.
Yeah. And
21-day
it takes
active
me
challenge.
man, the spiritual oil change went from maybe 2 to 3 minutes to like at least at minimum
Oh,
15 to 20 minutes
oh wow.
to
Okay.
get through now. Like it's a process.
Hmm.
I do it once in the morning. Actually, it's the first thing I do when I wake up. Spiritual oil change. I pray. Then I start my day.
hmm Well, I do something similar. I do yoga and a breathing technique that I learned from one of ET's podcasts with Gersh, like this is like this ridiculous physical therapist, but it's this breathing exercise. It's mindfulness and grounding and everything. So it helps me a lot. I do that without fail. I don't care how I start my day or what's going on. If I get up sooner, I'll still go back and do it if I wake up late or something like that. Like the last few days where haven't been able to get up, my alarm goes off at 5 and I wake up at like after hitting snooze like 7 times. Man,
Better habits, man.
it's rough, man. I didn't say fail. I said my intention was to work out or be active as well, and as well as consume high protein, read, write frequently, 21 days straight. I did not accomplish that. I did complete the equivalent of 21 workouts, consume such and such. So I went through all that and told myself, and what did I learn about myself too? I give myself grace when needed. I still have the heart to be a champion, the heart of a champion. That's what we're talking about. Where is that thing? It's in me. I don't like running like I used to, but I enjoy the challenge. Like I used to run all day playing soccer, but now it's like it's the one that I least look forward to is the run. But it's another part of me that's like I'm excited about it because um, I've got this thing. And I started out doing a quarter mile and then like a break and do like some um leg raises or some crap. Get my lungs a break,
Yeah.
quarter mile, and so on. But now I'm doing it all the way through without stopping. And the first quarter mile is downhill, and the last quarter mile is up the hill twice. So you going up the hill from the dirt pit and then going up the hill to my house.
Mm.
And those are the biggest elevation changes. That's probably that. It's almost the total of that 50 feet in that last quarter mile. But it's the time where I have to dig down the deepest, and it also shows you the
Hmm.
kilowatts or whatever, how much power you're putting out.
You
In
got me
my
thinking. So you said dig the deepest, but you're also at the lowest.
Yeah, you starting at the lowest. Yep.
I'm just making it make sense.
Oh yeah,
I'm going,
Rashadisms, everybody. Rashadisms.
but you're at your lowest, but you're digging the deepest to get to the highest point,
That's true.
to get past these points of elevation, to get home,
To get home for
to
sure.
your destination.
To get to the preach it now. Go on, that'll preach. All right, I can dig it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lesson in everything. That's what I see in life. Anything that I've gone through, positive, negative, indifferent, I'm always looking for the lesson. Like, what is that? And that's what I like about this challenge is seeing like what did I learn about myself during this. And the next time I do it, now I don't have a challenge going on right now about workout. I just challenge myself to stay consistent with it, which you have to define consistency to see
Yeah.
how consistent I've been. Because after I rolled the ankle, some of the things I couldn't do, like I could have pushed myself, but at what cost? I'm almost 40, and am I really gonna go out there and like try to kill myself to prove something? And then what is it proving? But in exchange, I've been doing some push-ups, some less strenuous calisthenics type stuff, and every morning without fail I still do the yoga routine and the breathing and all that. So that's and I log it with my watch and stuff, so I can see how my heart rate is and be more conscious about my body. And it's a process. Some days I'm just like whatever, just do it, get back to myself, forget the heart rate. Like, let me just, and I really feel like I'm doing the oil change, like you said. I'm dumping out what's in there because every time, calm down, bro, calm down. I'm every time I'm breathing and I have a thought that comes into my mind, I let it come and go. Like it, I don't dwell on it. I don't let it take me down a road. I think about whether it's positive, negative, something happened. I just breathe. Okay, there it is, and there it goes, gone. And that's, I guess, that's the equivalent of your oil change. It takes about 5 minutes for that breathing exercise, and another 5 for the yoga routine. So getting up to your 15, 20 minutes.
It's not a comparison, brother. We got different starting points,
Yeah.
but we headed to our respective
Yeah.
destinations. So
Well, I'm just
comparably
yeah,
the
we
equivalent.
gleaned some learning from each other.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's really what I want to talk about. That we've kind of gone over what we've been doing recently, but I really want to talk about what have we learned since last time. We've kind of talked about it. Just what are we learning right now? And since then, I look back on the date, and it was like July 11th was the last time we recorded. It was the season finale of season 2, and that's been 5 months, almost 5 months in another week. That's
to even hit it. Well, let's hit another milestone, because if we think about it, this time last year we were in preparation.
Yeah, we were in preparation. This was like this was not even a real thing. This was not a physical thing yet. This didn't exist. All the equipment we got, like it wasn't a thing. This was like an imagination.
Started with the idea.
That's what you always say. It always got to start with an idea, and then we put it into work, put it into action.
Like God, Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God
in the
created.
Just
He created. Bing. He started with an idea.
It's crazy, but that's how everything starts. Like from the clothes that we wearing to the everything around us. Like it all started, from just the seed of the idea.
Segues into my next moment.
Okay.
Because to your point, there's a need for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
The need for real talk.
That's right. Don't create it if you don't need it.
But there was a purpose behind, what real talk initially was founded upon, and how we ended up with the subsidiary of this, the Iron Table.
That's right. Yeah. Real talk started as my elevator pitch. It started as I just wanted to create a safe space for men to have conversations free of judgment. And, it was like the women have their things, that's kind of really where it came from. I'm like, all we got is ESPN and
sports bars,
sit down, and then we still don't talk about stuff that's going on. Women can sit down and at work, home, amongst girlfriends, go out for drinks, and they can talk about stuff. They can cry, they can. Most women, ain't gonna judge you for it, for the most part. But for men, around other men or women, for that matter, man, you got to be hard. You got to be this and that. The stigma of the rough exterior of a man. If you cry, if you show emotion, then you're weak, and
that's not human.
That is the barriers that we're breaking down. That is the constructs that we're deconstructing and reconstructing into like, bro, how did you do it? Like what happened? The successes and the failures, or whatever we replace a word with failure. Failure is still, it's all about the stigma. Like when you say a word and the connotation of that word, we have to change what the connotation of that word is and use it in a positive way. Because when it comes down to it, it's all about changing your way of thinking.
Everybody got a belief window.
Everybody got what?
A belief window. Like
Okay.
how we got these glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a way they view the world.
That's a fact. Mm-hmm.
So to your point, like deassociation from those negative connotations,
Mm-hmm.
it just, everything's subjective. So whatever it means to you, you have to believe that.
Yeah.
Like the same way you believe you cannot do something, like Henry Ford.
Mm-hmm.
He said it best, whether you think you can or think you can't. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
And when I just dwelled on that quote, I was like, wow.
That's deep.
It is. It hits totally different. But once you, now that I'm affirming life into the words, like it's all written there. It's like nothing's impossible with God.
That's a fact.
So when you seek the answer, it's like
Mm-hmm.
that the solutions that come to you are just different opportunities or different options. Doesn't mean they don't work. Doesn't mean the first one has to be the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it comes to that point of that feedback. Now you've reached a different area in life that you've never tackled.
Yep.
So this is basically what you asked for. You think you're ready until you get the calling.
Yeah. Then if you ain't ready, you gotta get ready. That's one thing I've learned growing up. With my parents and in the church and stuff. They say in season and out of season, you stay ready, and that's how I can, when I'm in certain situations with people. For example, I was at Affordable Housing Commission meeting. Actually got called to that like a day or two before. They're like, "Hey, will you come speak to us about?" And everybody thinks I do these tiny home thing. And I got 2 tiny homes,
Yeah.
or 2, shed homes that I converted into homes or whatever. And people think that's all that I do, and that's not. But it has kind of like rolled me into the affordable housing thing that I'm doing now. And then whatever your definition of tiny home is. I mean, some folks, tiny home could be 1,200 square feet. I mean, because you're used to 10,000 square feet.
Fair.
So whatever. But I had to be ready to speak there. I didn't prepare a speech or whatever. I had to stay ready, and everything that I said, and every time I do it, every time I speak, could be on the phone, could be the podcast in front of people. Lord put a watch in my mouth and a door in my lips. And that little right there, I may not even remember half the stuff I said, but I know that it's the right stuff coming out, because I'm removing myself and inserting the creator in the zone. So half of this stuff probably ain't gonna remember. Most of it is God, and the other is an energy drink. He knows everything.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's at that age.
Almost. Okay. That's one way to think about it. I almost know everything.
Come on, Wikipedia.
But keep reading and keep learning. That's one thing he does. He loves to read. And it's funny, at school, he can read 1,000 books, but they have these AR tests, the accelerated reader.
Yeah.
And he does not like taking the test. I mean, he'll make 100 on it, but he's like, man, I just want to read. And it's funny because sometimes he doesn't see the point in it, but it's something that you got to do. Just do it, bro. But he loves it for the sake of knowledge and the sake of reading, which he get that from his mom. He never liked reading.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, but now I'm like, man, I should have started this a long time ago. I'm unlocking stuff and moving like in a completely different way on some of the stuff that I'm learning, man. And I'm taking notes from it.
I could say we're gonna backtrack because you just said you should have. I would say at that point in your life, you probably didn't need it. And I don't mean that in a malicious way, but depending on your palate, what you had going on, those things had to clear up. You had to complete whatever. Like you got to finish that one project before you can start on the next one.
Yeah.
So
Well, some of it is probably arrogance too, because I felt like I was in a place where I thought I knew it all, and like JT almost know it all,
yeah,
but now I'm learning like I'll never know it all, and the more I know about what I'm doing or what I want to be good at or great at, the better, the closer I am to getting great at that, and just keep learning and mastery. Like I don't want to be the like jack of all trades and master of none. I want to be a master of a lot. Um, I used to think that I can only be a master of one thing or two things, but you can be a master of multiple things,
yeah.
and that's almost necessary in life now.
We got to destroy the ideal of either or,
Mm-hmm.
both and. That's what I'm learning in this fasting. So if we hop back, like what I mentioned about strategies, like I had strategies that worked for certain points in my life that I was
Mm-hmm.
familiar with. I'm in uncharted territory, so I had no choice but to seek an answer or
Yep.
seek the answer for solutions to help me during this time. Um, so I definitely understand.
Mm-hmm. So
And
one of the problems I used to have is like I wasn't trying to master anything. I was trying to find whatever the next thing was, or if this didn't work, I would go to something else. Like and not like focusing on anything. Like instead of being a sniper, I was like
aimless.
I was taking the shotgun approach and hopefully I hit something. Like one of these things that I'm working on to hit, it'll pay off. But now I'm realizing like, okay, like I can be a sniper in multiple areas. I'm
Hmm.
working on a podcast, and I do this certain number of minutes or hours a day. Real estate, investing, building, all of these things like, and some of them cross over, some of them intersect. But I'm learning that it's not just I ain't gotta just choose. I actually need to keep doing it all. So when this one like pays off, like I can start focusing on something else. Like that one starts paying off. Okay, it's automated now. I done scaled it to a point where it's automated. But if I keep like I used to, pick it up and drop something else and just forget it, like podcast before, I always knew like it was something. It was here to stay, but I tired myself out every time because I wasn't wisely managing my time. And now time is a premium to me now. I'm not finna just, hey, let's have lunch. Or what about? What what you got? I take somebody else to lunch if I'm gonna learn something from them.
I read about that. It's called OMB, Opportunity for Mutual Benefit.
Mm-hmm. Wait until the airspace is clear. It must be I wonder if it's Georgia fans coming in town.
Of course, that's that wealth right there.
That's that will coming in private jet airspace one day. I
Pending.
I used to think about stuff like that. I'm like, man, I want to have a jet one day. Why? Why? Like, what do I need to have a jet for? And if that's something that is beneficial to what I do, yeah.
I was told people who have jets or access to planes like that,
Mm,
it's because, to your point, to actually echo the very point you just made, because their time is very valuable. So it's something that can't
I need to
wait.
be here right now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a contract to sign, or I need to meet with such and such in Milan.
Yep.
To your point, you've scaled all these businesses to where they need to be,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the decision only Josh McGlone can make.
Yep.
Hey, I gotta go.
Mm-hmm. And it don't need to be. It was for the wrong reasons. It don't need to be because it's cool or because when people see me walking in and out of it, or I put it on Instagram or whatever, they'll be, oh man, you gotta. And that don't do nothing for me no more.
Can we talk about that? Is all a facade. Like if you think about it, When have you seen Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett,
Yeah.
Bill Ackman in Cuban chains, posing by Lamborghinis, posing by jets, any of that? Like
Never.
that's a facade. Like
Mhm.
it's the ideal of, yes, I would love to have that.
Mhm.
True enough, they do own all that, but
they don't own it for those purposes.
Right.
And I was definitely that is probably one of the worst things about me starting out as a young person, chasing this image or trying to maintain an image because it's what I do. Like, okay, if I'm if I'm a for example, I had the Mustang. And if I was like, hey, getting sponsorships like Sebastian and stuff, if I
Yeah.
was getting sponsorships and this is what I do, like I race cars or I show cars and it's beneficial to me, it makes me money or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
But if I'm doing it because it looks good to other people and it makes me feel good because other people like, man, that's the wrong reasons. And that has put me in a hole debt wise, like financially, because I'm steady chasing this image. And you can't stay at the same spot. I can't trade down. I gotta trade up. So every time you trade up, the debt goes. Like your liability column is like this. And
in the red.
Yeah, in the meantime, the assets is like, because you keep trading up and you upside down in the payment. And by the way, a vehicle is not an asset unless you're making money, unless it's making you money. Like them dump trucks sitting up the hill, assets. Now, right now, depending on your perspective, right now it's a liability because it ain't making money. Payment's still coming, insurance still coming. But when the joints crank up tomorrow, it's an asset because it's making money. But your vehicle, like your everyday driver, unless you got that joint wrapped in something,
yeah,
to marketing,
with sponsorship or something, yeah,
it ain't making money. That's one of the things I learned from that Rich Dad Poor Dad book. Man, it has got me completely changing the way I think about stuff. I'm I'm thinking about, well, if I could pull it off, I'd turn that joint in, like that truck, because it is on the it is in the negative column for sure. Because I mean, it ain't made me no money yet.
True magnet, car magnets.
What you mean?
Glon Homes.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that ain't gonna offset the payment that is.
It's not, but
It's not gonna
as
offset.
much as you traveling and all that,
Yeah,
I mean, you investing, so
yeah. I mean, I've already that's on my list to put car magnets because I've had car magnets before, and it when it's on there, it's only gonna be on there so long and it start taking the paint off and, and all that. But
well, just the ideal of
yeah.
like,
I mean, for sure, that's good. If I change the way I thought about that, I could be like, man, I could put signage in my back window on the sides, and if I get and it costs me however much a month on my note, and if I can get a job that pays that, then it's no longer a liability. But anyway, that's for another time. We Buddy Trail.
Hey, next topic, money trail.
Yeah. Well, next time I would like to talk about like what have we actually, what have we learned from each other? What have we learned from the show? What are we gonna do differently in our lives moving forward? And I had like this whole metaphor about I was blowing the leaves out here, and I had a whole metaphor set up for that, but it's hadn't. I may have to write that down and save it for next time.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and use it, and that'll be my last. So we've been talking about staying consistent and fasting and like becoming better. So one of the things that I thought about was us, like the time the 5 months this overlapped. We We haven't been talking every day. When we started back recently,
Man, this is my first time seeing you in 5 months, I think. I don't think we ran into each other since then. Well,
yeah.
virtually, but physically.
Yeah, I came to help you with some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it's been a couple times, but not like when we were seeing each other every week. You know, a couple times a week. But anyway, when I was blowing the leaves out here, I'm like, man, it's a lot of leaves, and it's been a good while, probably since my dad has blown them out here, and I'm looking because it's still a little warm outside. I'm looking like make sure ain't no snakes, you know, something that's gonna jump out. But it was some work, man. It, like the leaves were so piled up, and they're still kind of around the perimeters, and I blew off here, but it had me thinking like it took a lot of work to blow them joints off because it's been so long. It take us a while. It's like, man, I don't know what you look like no more. I don't know what the concrete look. I don't know what the grass looks like. I don't know what it looks like anymore because it's been so long. And that, man, it was like, oh man, it hit me between the eyes. Like, man, that don't need to happen no more. Whether we own the podcast or not, like we don't need to be. I hadn't seen you in months. Like that ain't cool. And life has been lifing, and it ain't gonna stop. Like life ain't gonna stop life, and it ain't gonna stop the fifth day of your fast, the 6th or 7th day of my workout challenge. That stuff is not gonna stop. Steve Harvey said somebody is either coming out of something, in the middle of something, or going into something. It's always something happening. You ain't never gonna have like this long period of time where there's nothing going on. Like you must be stuck in the house if you're doing that. You're not living.
Yeah.
If something's not happening.
Yeah. You 6 feet under.
Pretty much. But man, it was deep to me. Like the metaphor between the hiatus that we've had and blowing the leaves out of the backyard. And I was like, man, like that don't need to happen no more. We don't need to let the leaves fall down. Like leaves not gonna stop falling. It's fall, the leaves not gonna stop falling. But the more we brush up, the more we may pay attention, like you ain't gotta take that leaf blower will blow the doggone bark off a tree. So it's powerful. But next time we just need, a broom. But let's stay brushed up, man. Let's not
like it.
Let's not do this no more. And even if we got to take a break from the doggone podcast, let's still chop it up,
and schedule something.
Yes, sir. Stay consistent at least with that, stay in touch. I was gonna call Wayne and ask him some feedback. I was gonna call Quill. He don't know. But we'll say that for the next time. We'll do some like hardcore reflection on some things. And I know Wayne's got some stuff, and I steady always got something. He got something that he gonna say. What is the Lord saying? All right, well, I'm good, man. What else you got?
Like I said, man, life's beautiful. So I'm looking forward to the next iteration, what's to come, how we build from here. And
yes, sir.
Like you said, like consistency. See where this thing goes.
How we look, Mr. JT? Everything still on? Okay. All right, well, man, that's it for this time. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Catch us next time. Hey. Always remember, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and keep it real. Peace. Outro music that JT's gonna make.